Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
Andrew McCart, IFLTV, delighted as always to be joined by Mr. Dan Rafael. Dan, I believe you were the first to break this news over Twitter. I just want to get your quick reaction to this. Ryan Garcia, not just a little bit, not just a couple of ounces, 3.2 pounds over the 140-pound contracted weight. Give me your quick reaction to this.
Listen, I mean, anybody that's paid attention, Andrew, to this promotion, to what's been happening from the time they had their initial press conferences back a couple of months ago through this lunatic fight week, all the accusations from Haney claiming constantly that Ryan wasn't going to make the weight. The fact that we get to the point where he doesn't make the weight, why would that come as a surprise to anybody? So, no, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. I didn't know if he'd be that much over. 3.2 pounds is quite a bit, obviously, for any weight division. But when you're supposed to be 140 pounds, you're really basically a welterweight at the point you're that much over. It's disappointing, but it doesn't surprise me. They've been able to work out an agreement to go through with the fight anyway. But Ryan can't win the title. And, a lot of the conversation leading up to this fight was, a chance for him to finally win a world title in what's been an otherwise, good career. And that won't happen. And obviously with Haney, he's still the champ. He's got to win the fight to record the defense. But it definitely takes away a lot of the attraction of this being a major world championship fight. I don't blame Devin Haney. He did what he's supposed to do. He's been a professional. He made weight. He had to strip down naked, from what I was told from people that were there in the room, to make the 140-pound limit. But again, he made the weight, and Ryan Garcia didn't come close. And it doesn't come as a surprise, because if you looked at his social media, what was it, 3 days ago, he's out at a nightclub partying. I mean, why would anybody be surprised?
Dan, is it past the point of him trolling now? I know some people have said, oh, he's trolling, he's playing mind games with Devin Haney, but with being 3.2 pounds over, being at a nightclub a few days out from the fight, man, is he still trolling, Dan?
Yeah, I don't think he ever was trolling. That's the thing. I never bought that for a minute. If you're that screwed up, and the proof is in the pudding, when you come in that much overweight and you cost yourself real money, no, you're not trolling. You're a problem. You have a problem. You have issues. Obviously, he's not in proper condition physically, or he would be on weight or even closer to the weight. No doubt about it. He's got mental issues that are going on. I'm not trying to dump on him. I'm concerned for him. I like Ryan. I think he's got a good heart. I think he's a good human being. He's just in a bad way right now, and he doesn't seem to have the people around him who can see past the dollar signs to get this man some help that he needs. And nobody seems to give a damn. And it's unfortunate, because Devin Haney is a top-level elite pound-for-pound fighter. If he was fighting Ryan Garcia, just a hobo kind of opponent, maybe the concerns would be less. But he's fighting one of the best fighters in boxing. Mm-hmm. And it's a dangerous enough sport when you're in the ring with anybody, much less go in the ring with one of the elites in the entire world. And you're so clearly not what you're supposed to be, that it really makes me concerned about it. I'm surprised that the commission hasn't taken a harder stance on this. Ryan's own family doesn't seem to care. Golden Boy, I mean, I'm not saying they should care, they shouldn't care. For them, it's a business. I get that. But still, this is just a very unfortunate situation. Anybody that can't see that a fighter like Ryan Garcia, who already has had a situation in his career where he's taken a substantial amount of time off out of the ring because of his own discussions with people about his mental health, and went and spoke very eloquently and very publicly about his mental health problems. He's having them again right now, and they're going to put this man in a boxing ring on Saturday night, and that is not appropriate, in my opinion.
I know his dad's close to his camp and stuff like that. Do you think that this should have been... you mentioned Oscar and Bernard Hopkins and Golden Boy. I mean, they're running a business. They're seeing... I don't want to sound crude about it, but they're seeing dollar signs. Who should have pulled them out? In this fight, who should have pulled them out? Yeah, my daughter.
You got his family members, his advisor, his team, the commission, his trainer. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's all dollar signs. That's all this is. We all know that. I mean, look, and I'm not trying to get on a soapbox, but I've been doing this for 25 years, and I know what a money grab is. This is the money grab.
It's a shame, isn't it, Dan, to be honest? If we're going to be honest about it, it's just
terrible, because they'll all go on with their life. They're not the ones getting in the ring. They're not the ones that are going to go through the fight. Now, if he lands a great left hook and he happens to win the fight, I mean, it'll be in spite of everything that's gone on, not because he's somehow a superior athlete. Right now, he should be doing anything but preparing for a boxing match. And frankly, it doesn't look like he really prepared as well as he should have. I mean, there's been so much that's happened during this fight week, besides all the stuff that went on prior in the build up, when they did their news conferences. You had the pushing match, or however you want to call it, the altercation they had during the photo op on Monday at the Statue of Liberty, that was concerning enough that the New York Mets baseball team canceled their ceremonial first pitch they were supposed to appear at, which is a great publicity thing for any boxing event. So that got thrown out the window. You saw what happened at the open workout where Ryan was on with the Zone doing interviews and literally looked like he was unhinged, like he could not control what was saying or what he was doing. I mean, it was like watching when you pass a car wreck on the highway, you can't help but watch because it was so crazy. And then you saw the nonsense that went on at the press conference. I mean, Ryan in the span of like a minute goes from coming to the podium to say over and over and over and over again, praise Jesus, and then it starts barking like a dog. What are we doing here?
I'm glad you mentioned the press conference, because going on Devin Haney's tweet, there has been an agreement. The fight is going ahead, and I saw you. You watched the press conference yesterday, and there was a $500,000 per pound bet placed yesterday. And Devin Haney said that he had placed the bet. I don't know what you've heard, Dan. Is that true? Is that sort of the reason as to why this fight's going ahead? Because Ryan Garcia has stayed true to his word and paid that. In this case, it would be $1.5 million to Devin Haney.
Okay, a couple things about it. Number one, that's not the reason the fight's going ahead. Now, Golden Boy put out a statement just before we jumped on this call, where they said in a very brief statement that the fight is going to take place and that Ryan's going to honor what he said at the press conference, which was they shook on it. It was the one civil moment that they had where he said that he accepted that bet from Haney, which was $500,000 a pound. Now, maybe that will take place. Maybe that's what's going to happen. And that's what Ryan is saying. I am told by direct sources with knowledge that there was a paper contract that has been drawn up and that it is not for $500,000 a pound. It is some other amount. So I think the $500 a pound that they're claiming he's going to honor, to me, that's a publicity ploy, whatever. He's going to pay a substantial fine, but it's probably not going to be that much based on what I am told by somebody who's familiar with the paper, which is more important than a press release, or more important than what Ryan might say at a news conference.
Do you think, not just a boxing journalist, but as a general human being, that this fight should go ahead, Dan, in your opinion?
No, this fight should not go ahead.
And
usually I'm more long-winded in my responses, but that one didn't need more words.
You obviously feel strongly about this and about Ryan's mental state right now, and I think it's almost clear now with the way he's gone on and being that far overweight. Like 3 pounds is a lot. Like you said, it's close to that. You're almost a welterweight at that sort of weight. And again, the fight is going ahead. Is it a case of, has it lost its shine with all this build up and what's going on and the misweight? Has it lost? Because when this fight was made, and before it was even made, this was a fight that we're all looking at in the boxing world going, that is a great, great fight. We all want to see it. But it seems like it's just lost its shine somewhere. It doesn't seem like the fight that we all thought it would be.
Well, Andrew, I'll tell you, I was very, very pumped up for this fight. Remember back when they were trying to make the match and it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and they swerved, and Ryan was trying to finalize a fight with Rolly Romero at one point, and then he ended up taking a different fight against Pitbull Cruz, and they went back and they finalized the fight with Haney. So when that fight was not happening and they were trying to do the Romero fight, I was disappointed. I mean, not that I was okay, if he fought Romero, so be it, but I was really interested to see Ryan against Haney. And I was excited about it. When they finally got it done, I was like, oh, great, they got the fight done. I was super pumped up for it. And now I'm not. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, there's so much wrong with his fight. And again, my disappointment, or my no longer having like the enthusiasm for the event that I once did, is not because of Devin Haney. I'm a Devin Haney fan and a Ryan Garcia fan. That was one of the reasons I was so interested in seeing the matchup. Devin has handled his business professionally by doing what he's done. He's trained hard, it seems like, if you just look at the videos that have been posted and how his body has looked, certainly in terms of he's made the weight. So I can't really quarrel with that. I didn't love that he's the one that initiated the shoving match at the Empire State Building, but put that aside. My enthusiasm, though, is definitely dampened because, I just see a person that is not equipped to be in a boxing ring. I mean, I wasn't covering boxing at the time. I remember watching when Lennox Lewis fought Oliver McCall and he had the breakdown in the ring. I mean, a lot of people could see that coming a mile away because Oliver was pretty unstable going into the fight. I'm not saying Ryan's at that level, but it seems like he's in that kind of position. I don't know how he gets through 12 rounds without having some type of crisis that's going to take over and be an impact on the fight. Now, like I said, if he lands the left hook and he wins, it's not because he did something spectacular. It's because he did it in spite of what's been going on. Certainly upsets happen. But even when the fight was made, when he seemed to be okay, he was the underdog in the fight. And people thought, okay, Haney is the superior boxer, the more intelligent fighter, and many other attributes other than maybe just a one-punch power. And now you take that and you look at all the stuff that's gone on. You really think that Ryan Garcia is prepared mentally for a 12-round championship level fight? How many times have you heard? I know I've heard it a million times from fighters who talk all the time about how important being mentally prepared for a fight, that it's almost sometimes more important than your physical preparation, that boxing is so much about the mentality when you enter the ring. Well, clearly Ryan Garcia is compromised physically by not even coming close to the weight. And I don't think you got to be a psychiatrist to look at this person's actions during the course of this buildup to say he's not there 100% the way he should be mentally. And again, anybody that thinks it's trolling, I think they're idiots.
One final one, Dan, before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I think it is out in the States. How much involvement has the commission got in this? How much power do they have in pulling this fight?
They've got tremendous power. And if you believe Ryan Garcia, he said in that Unhinged DAZN interview, and it was him saying what a lot of people had heard prior, is that they did conduct some type of mental health evaluation of him when he got to New York, or even before that, perhaps. They said, as Ryan said, they made me, jump through hoops to do the fight. And so they did, I guess, have some professionals speak to him, but at what threshold are they looking for? Like, I don't know what the criteria was of what they did. Again, I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that, but I've seen a lot of fighters, deal with the pressures of a build up to a fight. And this one is one for the books, if you ask me. So yeah, the commission, obviously they have a lot of power over this situation, 100%, but they've not exercised it in terms of canceling the fight or requiring, a more stringent level of mental health, because again, you don't have to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist or any type of mental health professional to look at Ryan Garcia for 30 seconds and understand that this is a person with a past history, I might add, of mental health issues that he's talked about extensively, and now he's getting into the boxing ring.
Dan, as always, I do appreciate your time. I know we were strapped for time here because you've been busy with the other businesses and things that you do within the boxing realm. I know that, again, Dan's Substack will be at the bottom of this video if you want to subscribe to Dan's Substack there. But Dan, as always, thank you so much for taking some time out to talk to me. And I was going to say enjoy the fights this weekend, but it seems like it's been dampened a little bit. But listen, again, I appreciate you, Dan, and thanks very much for this.
You bet, Andrew. Anytime. Appreciate that.
Thank you, brother. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay.
Cheers, Dan.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.